It is get your it's your boy Ty back here with another video, and in this video today, guys, we're gonna be ranking our top 10 point guards in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM. Now, I do got to say, the point guard position is a strong position right now. I mean, I'm gonna give you guys some honorable mentions, and you guys are gonna be like, okay, yeah, this position is nothing to joke about. This position is something special. So just keep that kind of in the back of your minds as we do go through this thing. Some honorable mentions. I'm just going to throw some guys out here right now. Heroic Penny Hardaway, Elemental MJ, Cade Cunningham, Oscar's good. Gilbert was on the list. Had to take him off last minute. I really like D-Rose. He didn't make the list. LaMelo is really solid. He didn't make the list. Any of these tall guys like Scotty Barnes, Dre, they're very, very solid. Heroic Hedo didn't make the list. And the list goes on and on. Like, the point guard position is one that's really strong. So just keep that in the back of your guys' minds as we do go through this thing. At number 10, Hero Hedo Turkoglu. Now, you guys might be mad saying, what? He's all the way down here at number 10. Now, there's reasons for this, but the main reason I want you guys to know and understand the reason Hedo is down here this low is because I can't stand the Trey upper. I can't stand it. The only release I don't hate it on really is Tim Thomas. I think, and even Bender, I get used to it. But I can't stand the Trey upper. I feel like I'm so inconsistent with it. I miss shots I ultimately shouldn't miss. And it ultimately ends up driving me crazy. So, again, you guys can call me crazy for not, having him higher, which objectively he probably does deserve to be higher. I'm just saying, from me telling you guys and being honest with you guys, the reason he's not higher is solely because of that. Because here, Hedo is 6'10". He's going to play decent defense. Offensively is really solid. There's not many flaws in the card. You could honestly have this Hedo, I personally think, all the way up to number 4. Any higher than number 4 in this list, I think you'd be crazy. But you can definitely debate Hedo all the way into that top 10 for me. I've tried using Hedo. I just had to replace him. I could not get down with that Trey upper. At number 9, we're plugging in Dark Matter Evo'd up Devin Booker. Now, there's a big difference between this Devin Booker and this Devin Booker. Let's talk about what the difference is. He gets Hall of Fame off-ball pest, pick dodger, interceptor, challenger, and ankle braces, as well as unpluggable floor general, big badge, clutch shooter. Like, he gets some big-time badges. Again, 6'6" for Devin Booker, and he's basically an invincible card outside of the standing dunk and block. Not only that, he's got a great base on very quick, as well as the Devin Booker leaner, which is great in its own right. Nobody really is talking about this Devin Booker. Why? It's because he's so rare, and he honestly is overpriced. But I'm going to tell you guys how it is. This Devin Booker is really solid in my team. It is definitely a top 10 point guard in the game, and I'm taking him over Hedo Turkoglu. I mean, this is more so just basically signifies how strong the point guard position truly is, that Devin Booker is all the way down here at number 9. At number 8, we're plugging in a card who I initially had off my list, and then I looked at it again, and I'm like, this card has to be on here. It's Hero Penny Hardaway. Now, with that being said, is Penny Hardaway a perfect card? No, because his release is not perfect. But outside of that release, the card has everything you need. Normal leaner. Defensively is an absolute menace. And that's the big thing for me, is his defense is going to be better than Hedo. His defense is going to be better than Devin Booker. That is why he is higher than those cards. It's really that simple, that easy, because offensively, he's not going to be as good as Hedo. He's not going to be as good as Devin Booker. I just like Penny Hardaway because he's long, he's lengthy, he plays great defense, he can somewhat create his own shot. I mean, there are a lot of good things he is going to do for you on the court. I think 8 is about as high as I can go, just because I'm not a big fan of his release in general. At number 7, this one might get a lot of hate. Galaxy Opal Ben Simmons. Now, I sold my Ben Simmons the other day. But if you have Monty Williams, or even if you have Don Nelson, his 3-ball becomes low 70s with a a decently smooth release, and you can apply shooting badges to him. You look at this list, I don't think there's going to be a better defensive player outside of my maybe number 2 than this Ben Simmons. He's 6'11", great speed, good lateral quickness, wide frame, great, just all around absolutely incredible. Now, the big thing for me with Ben Simmons is, can you shoot consistently with the card? If you answer that question yes, you might think of Ben Simmons as a top 5 point guard in my team. Now, for me, I think there just are better options, and I would, encourage you guys to maybe find a guy that you can shoot with a little more consistently. But if you can knock down shots with this Ben Simmons, you're going to be hard pressed to find many better point guards in my team, especially on the defensive end of the court. And the most underrated part for me about Ben Simmons is how well he attacks the rim. He attacks the rim as well as anybody else. He dunks on nearly everybody. And I think that goes underrated, and a lot of people don't really talk about that for Ben Simmons. At number 6, we're going to plug in our point guard reward in my team unlimited, Shaun Livingston. Now, you can debate him as a top 5 point guard in my team because the card's got everything. He's got the JT Thor, basically the LaMelo type base, on very quick with the normal leaner, as well as being able to move incredibly. For me, why is he not higher? He's not perfect defensively. He's good defensively, don't get it twisted. He's just not perfect. What do you mean by that, Ty? Well, block is only at an 85. He's only 6'7" compared to some other guys who are 6'10", 6'11". And I think that's, the big thing to talk about here. I mean, Şengün didn't even make this list. He's another honorable mention that I definitely do love. But, for Shaun Livingston, I really like the card. If you get him in unlimited, I'd run him. Like, I got him, and I still run him on both of my accounts. There's just a limit to how good the card truly can be. Only 17 Hall of Famers compared to a lot of people who have 40 on this list. He comes in at number 6. Cracking our top 5. Dark Matter Jimmy Buckets, 6'7", 6'8" wingspan. Talk about defense, you gotta mention Jimmy Butler, right? His defense is absolutely immaculate. His release is okay. He leans back on it. It's tough to contest. Normal leaner as well. If you run Jimmy Butler, you're running him because of his defense. It's that simple. You're going to want to run a guy that can make plays alongside him. I think that is really important when you talk about Jimmy Butler. Again, you're going to want to run some guys, especially shooting guards that you can trust to kind of handle the offense and make some plays. I like Jimmy Butler though. I really never got the chance to use his point guard card just because he is so expensive. I mean, still, if I go and look at the out of position Jimmy Butler at the time I'm recording this video, you think, oh, well, Ty, he's probably not that expensive anymore. He's still going to go for upwards of 300, 400,000 MT. So is the card cheap? No, he's not cheap. He's pretty expensive. And that is something we have to take into consideration. At number 4, we're plugging in the hero Michael Jordan. I don't get the Michael Jordan hype. That's just me and my personal opinion, and I've got to be honest with you. I don't get the hype. I get it, the KPJ base. That's awesome, that's outstanding. But with that being said, we have to also realize and take into consideration the MJ upper kind of slows it down a little bit. It's not bad. It's not a bad release, and I can't sit up here in front of you guys and say it's a bad release because I would be straight up lying to you. But is it a release that I think is the best in the game? No. I've been cooked by this Michael Jordan before. I got to be honest with you. He greens, reds. He's just really annoying to play against. But does that mean he's our best, point guard in my team? No. Okay, and I've got to be honest and tell you guys that it all depends on how well you can use Michael Jordan, right? If you're going to use him as your primary ball handler instead of like a T-Mac type card, then maybe you have him at number, 3 on this list. For me, I just prefer other cards in my team, and maybe it's because he's 1 million MT and I'll never be able to get him, and I'm biased against Michael Jordan. But I can't see how paying 1 million MT for this card could ever be worth it. He comes in at number 4 for me. At number 3, maybe as a surprise to a lot of you guys, Dark Matter Ron Artest. Now, I'm personally going to sell Ron Artest on my Xbox account. You guys might be like, Ty, why would you do that? You love Ron Artest. I do. I think Ron Artest is absolutely incredible. For me, it's all about if you have free cards, use them. So I know Gilbert didn't make the top 10, but he's a free card I have that I can run and have fun with. I've got Shaun Livingston. I've got just guys that I can use and have fun with. I love Ron Artest. This card is incredible. Look at the defense he brings to the table, as well as he's got one of the most chicken releases in my team, as well as the trade fade. you can debate Ron Artest as your best point guard in my team, and I'm not going to argue too much against it, right? I do think there are better options, but again, you got to pick your battles, and that's not one I'm willing to battle with you on. I love Ron Artest in my team. I definitely think he is a top 3 point guard in the game. Now, I'm only plugging in one Jokic. I mean, let's talk about the hero Jokic. This Jokic would be in the same position. There's just slight differences. 6'11", 7'3" wingspan. There's really no flaws with Jokic. It just depends. Can you green the Eric Pascal release? Now, the Oscar upper does make it a lot better, as well as he does have the Oscar slide normal leaner. To me, when I used Jokic, he was immaculate. Defensively, offensively, were not many flaws in him. And this Jokic is basically the same, right? They're just the same. One's going to have a few more Hall of Famers, maybe be a little better defensively than the other one. Both come in here at number 2. He's just your taller point guard. So if you just want a point guard to play defense, knock down shots for you, he's probably your best point guard in the game. And I'm not going to sit there and argue with that if that's the case you want to make. Now, for me, I want a little more out of my point guard. Not that Jokic can't be your primary ball handler. There's just a guy that's going to do it a little bit better. And that guy is dark matter Luka Doncic. Now, some people have been saying to me, Ty, people are struggling with Luka's release. I don't know if it's just me, but when I use Luka Doncic, I definitely did not struggle with his release. I was greening basically every shot with the card. So maybe I'll, end up being lower on Luka, but as it stands right now, I think he's the best point guard in the game. He can move well, has a great KPJ. Rudy, I like the Rudy upper, and I think that's part of it. I know the Rudy upper might be a little slow compared to others. I don't know. I love it, though. I think it's chick in my team. Does get the Trae Young size, which some people love, other people don't, whatever. Obviously, does have the Asta as well. I love Luka in my team. When I used him, I had a lot of fun with him. And so, yeah, I'm going to be decently high on Luka Doncic when it comes down to the point guard position. The point guard position right now is the strongest position, in my opinion, in my team. And it's only getting stronger week by week when we're starting to get these out-of-position players like Nikola Jokic. That's going to wrap it up for our video today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the point guard position down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. And as always, man, I love you guys. And have a blessed day.